Hey everybody, Davey here from Davey's World Fishing. Today I'm going to talk to you about the brand new low-profile Serrano baitcast reel from Okuma. The new Serrano low-profile baitcast reel by Okuma was introduced at the 2020 Virtual iCast Show. There's a couple of models in the family, not super expansive, but there's actually only two gear ratios. There's a 7.2 to 1 and a 6.5 to 1 gear ratio, and they come in right and left hand retrieve in that family. New whole series for Okuma. They used to have the Serrano years back, which was that all green reel, that ended up going into the Helios reels later on in that same style of platform. The Serrano is an all corrosion resistant, graphite body, graphite side plate, low profile reel that's built for freshwater fishing. You can fish it in the saltwater, but it's a freshwater, basically a freshwater reel. Let's take a full look at this reel here, starting at the handles. On the handles, if you can see that there, that's got a golf grip style rubberized handle. Very comfortable in your hand. It's actually nice and tacky. Even when it gets wet, it stays nice and tacky. It doesn't get slippery like it looked like it might get slippery. You have a graphite star, and you actually have a 95 millimeter throw on that handle. The Helios SX has 100 millimeter. This is 95. That actually gives you a nice, large, long throw, which gives you lots of extra torque when you're reeling in your reels. You have your spool tension control right on the side there. Then you get into your graphite frame and side plates. And on that side plate, you actually have an external magnetic braking system. The Helios SX reel actually has that internal system where you have to open it up, you do your dial, your centrifugal system, close it back up. This is actually that external magnetic control system. Like those other reels, you actually twist them down and open them up. This actually has a nice little on-off switch in the back there. When you click that to the on, you can actually dial that reel open and you can see the magnets on the inside there. The more you turn up, the closer those magnets get pushed to the full aluminum spool, anodized spool there. It's a black anodized aluminum spool. I'll show you that right now. Let me just get that locked back in there. So as you can see there, that's a full aluminum black anodized with that matte finish spool system there. It's actually got holes in it, so you don't want to necessarily take it out in the salt water because you will get some water that gets to the inside of the reel there. As I mentioned, there's a 6.5 and a 7.3 gear ratio. There's 7 total ball bearings. There's 6 ball bearings, and then there's 1 anti-reverse bearing in there as well. Cool little reel. It actually has quite a bit of drag in it as well. It's got a multi-disc carbonite drag system, so it's very smooth, very long casting, and as I mentioned, smooth on the drag. So you're going to get about 15 pounds of drag. You know, it feels like more. That's what they're listing it as. When you actually spool this thing up and you go for that straight pull, it actually feels quite a bit heavier than that. I do want to put this thing on the scale and actually get a true, accurate feel to it. Heck, maybe I'll do that later today. That's a pretty good idea. But it's got the traveling line guide there. When you actually take it out of gear and you cast, it does not travel. It stays in place. The bigger reels, the 350 and the 450 and the Komodos, when you click it and you're casting, it actually does travel. On these smaller, narrow reels, you actually don't have to. And speaking of narrow, you're at a 33.5 millimeter width spool. It's not very deep. You get about 120 yards of 12-pound monofilament on it. If you're filling this dude up with braid, you fish with 30, 40, or 50-pound braid, you're going to get plenty of braid, especially for bass fishing applications. If you're looking for some long casting, thicker braid like a 65-pound, you're not going to get a ton of capacity. You're probably right in that 100 yards, so you'll probably want something with a little bit deeper spool. But that's that new Serrano. Awesome little reel. I actually have one on the setup here. There's a Serrano setup on the new Serrano rod. It all matches, go figure. But I've got some 50-pound of the soft steel eminent braid on there. It actually fits real nicely on there. It's a great casting, long casting setup. If you haven't checked out these reels, check out my video on the Serrano reels. I'll try to put the link right up here at the top as well. But cool little reels. The best part, they retail for about $89.99. You can find them at okumafishingusa.com. Check them out at Tackle Warehouse. I know they were just at a big giveaway for 5 of these reels. There's some other great promotions going on out there in the industry as well. But very cool. Check them out. That's the Serrano Low Profile Baitcaster by Okuma. Do me a favor, hit that like button down below and subscribe to Davey's World Fishing. I'm in that right-hand corner. We'll see you on the water. Thanks for checking in.